basically you don't want to be their favorite app. You want them to rely on your app.
What's the difference about designing UX for the aviation comparing to other?
I don't think AI will replace us, or we can replace users somehow.
Welcome to Blackbox Debugged. Our today's topic is UX and UI design, and we'll be debugging the topic together with Agata Doroszkiewicz. Hi, Agata. How are you doing?
Hi, Dzefris. I'm fine. I'm very excited to be here because for the first time, I can share my experience and not design the experience of other people. So that's amazing feeling.
Awesome. Thank you very much for coming from Poland to Germany for the podcast shooting. Thank you for your time. Can you tell us something about yourself?
So, as you mentioned, my name is Agata and I am UX designer for over 3 years at Lufthansa Systems Poland. And for my daily work, what I'm doing, I try to make complicated systems a little bit less painful and ideally even enjoyable for users. What does it mean in practice? So around 50% of my time, I try to figure out what I should do, basically.
Okay.
So some business aspects, some technical aspects, and then I need to understand everything and then merge it with user needs and create some designs, user flows, etc. So in practice, there are meetings, there are virtual whiteboard sessions. I'm digging in the documentation of UX researchers. And the second half of my time, it's actually design. So I'm working in Figma. I'm preparing some mock-ups, some prototypes. I'm iterating on it. So that's basically it. And of course, I'm not the only one because we are entire team behind the scenes and we are UX researchers, we are UX designers and design system team. And we all working on those aspects for users.
Sounds very interesting. And you mentioned that you're UX researchers, UX designers. There are these terms that we all hear especially in the software industry, but overall in many different engineering areas now, where like we are designing systems that humans will be interacting with. There are these terms UI, UX, UR. Could you explain us a bit what are these terms standing for?
Okay, yes, sure. That's actually a very good question because many people are fuzzy about the definition. So UR is user researchers, and they are like people who answer the question how users use the app, what's their workflow, what is working for them and what's not. Usually they are the people who, as a first, like hear from the users, that's exactly what we need. This is the solution that is the game changer for us. Or in different case, this is not the direction, you should try again. They as well make some eye trackings, testing sessions and prototype sessions. So they are making shadowings. They know users the best. Spend time with them and then prepare some reports and we pick up from this point. So we are UX designer, user experience designers. So we collaborate with business side like product owners, business analysts. And then we need to blend their goals with user expectations. So we create the user flows. And we, in our case, Lufthansa case, we are preparing as well the mock-ups, prototypes. So the final solution, what you see in the system was designed by UX designer. But there is a role which called user interface designer. And in theory, in the textbooks, they are occupied by doing the high fidelity prototypes. But in our company, we have the design system team. High fidelity we are doing as UX designers, and they are the keepers. So there are people who prepare the library. The library of components. These are people who prevent to reinvent wheel every time we need a button. Or
okay. So they design
all the components.
Exactly. The reusable components,
exactly.
Basically.
And as well, they are doing the documentation. We just prevent the situation where Friday afternoon we are stuck by designing something and thinking, how this button should interact, because we need to just look at the documentation and everything is clear. This is a design system team. This is our setup. But it's not the only one, because some companies, some industries prefer one-man army. So one person focused on one topic, and the person is doing research, design, the design system maybe work, and all the tasks are related to him. I was there as well. I was this one-man army, and it was great for learning, I must say, because I could try different things and find the place for myself. But I really appreciate our current environment, because when you have more people with more structured roles, we can look at the topic, at the task, few lenses, like
different perspectives.
Exactly. Yeah. You have different perspectives. So maybe your colleague will bring some edge case which you missed, or some data that you didn't see before, and then he or she can challenge the design, and that's what I appreciate, because at the end, the product is sharper and better.
Awesome. Thank you very much for clearing that out for us. What's the difference about designing UX for the aviation comparing to other industries?
Goals and regulations, first thing, because unlikely to e-commerce, for example, where we want to guide user from the product to the payment. Here in the aviation, we are working for people who plan the flights, who calculate fuels, and it's really like high stake environment. They have a lot of responsibilities. Basically, you don't want to be their favorite app. You want them to rely on your app, right?
So basically, in e-commerce, we are guiding users to buy something. This is like the incentive that I usually feel when I'm using like the e-commerce website, in comparison to that kind of UI or user experience. In the case of the apps that you're designing for professionals, my understanding is that you're trying to simplify for them the usage of the apps, so they can be more effective, right, at their work, but they can also see right amount of data that they need, right, and meet their needs.
Basically, we aim for the clarity, for speed, and you cannot overcomplicate the things, because these are people who work at the night shift at 3 in the morning. They have some exceptions for the flight, which are, for example, some delays, and they need to handle it. So they
have lower concentration.
Exactly. Yeah. Whatever it is, not enough fuel for a flight, or there is a delay, or there are some mail items, and everything needs to be covered by different kind of flows. And each company is different process. So it's like you would design for 10 different realities. We cannot like override it. We cannot say them, this is the proper way. You should do this and that. No, they need to follow their policies. And the application is one, right? So we need to really preview many paths. For example, there are planners and the person who just monitor flights. And there are the mixed roles. Like one person do both things. There are back offices. So everything need to be ready for each and every task they need to fulfill and do it efficiently.
Yeah, and that sounds like it's a bit harder to generalize the user experience for like the user. Like in e-commerce, you're focusing on certain group of people, but usually your user will perform similar actions or same actions. Like it will search for products, it will buy something, that's about it. But in the application for aviation industry, it's much more complex. Like the different users might use the same application in different ways, right? And that sounds to me like there is a quite a difference between designing the apps for B2C comparing to a B2B users.
Yes, there is a big difference, because when you designing for B2C, these users choose your app, and basically you need to assure them the amazing onboarding for the applications. Everything is sparkling, and need to give them reasons why you should select your apps. And for B2B, usually you are assigned to the app because your company bought it. For B2B, you don't want to really be the best app for the user. You want them to rely on the app. So first, for example, calculate the flight and trust the results. We need to provide them very high quality applications, and this is what we are doing.
Yeah, I mean, as we are aware, as aviation industry is a bit more of on conservative side regarding like the change in the technology and regarding maybe also UX design. I mean, I've seen across the industry some legacy applications that have quite, let's call it outdated UIs that are a bit more complicated. Like they look older than Windows 95, for example, right? Have you ever seen a case where users are not really happy that you're changing their legacy application into the modern, where you see, okay, it looks really complicated to use this, and now this is more simple, right? Like more modern one, but they are like, oh no, I prefer my old way because I know a way around it.
I don't think so. We already getting very good feedback because of the new applications. Even recently, I participated in user testing. And I was the observator, like I did shadowing, because my colleagues from research tested one prototype. We heard like from many users, oh, this is exactly what we needed. This is
Nice.
the map has so many layers. It's a very clean. This table provides every data I needed. And for example, because we need to rely on some huge data and show to users some huge tables on the data with the data, and I was worried, oh, maybe it's too much, maybe it's not readable enough, etc. But what I decided to do, just simply split the data on 2 pages, so user has a chance to
comprehend the data, so can read, yeah?
choose. If he want to see somehow summary and just this one part of the data, or go very deep into the information, because it's not always need to see everything, right?
Right.
You can just see the most important part and it's enough. In some cases, you need to go deeper, and and this is one example of UX. You need to think about these kinds of solutions because they're different needs, right? So this is example. I just came to my mind one example just to show you that even small changes in UX are valuable, and this is example which is reminded very often by my colleague who is expert analyst. So he brought to me one question, because there is a module when user need to calculate something. But to calculate it, he need to provide a file and fulfill some form. In the form, there was a table related to the restrictions, aviation, NOTAMs, the restrictions, TFR, etc. And users had 3 options to select in the table: exclude, include, and default. And he told me, Agata, listen to me. We have many questions from users. They don't understand what is default in this case. What does it mean? And can you imagine that I changed just one little label in one column from default to take from input file? There is no more questions. For everybody, it's clear. You know, it's just the effort for me was almost zero. For developers as well, just change label.
But for the user,
great. For the users, they really appreciate it. They don't need to think. They just click whatever is proper for them.
Awesome.
So that's the small things which are important in UX world.
Yeah, I mean, as a user myself of many apps, right, I appreciate that when there is the great UX and UI, maybe in that area, as we were talking already about like user expectations, what would be the next thing in UX? Is there something where AI can help you provide better user experience or help you test the user experience? Because I don't know how good of an user is AI to be representing, let's say, can AI represent user, or you still have to rely on real users to test your designs?
Yeah, I won't be original. Yes, that's true that AI, I think, will have a huge impact on UX. However, I don't take it as a threat, more as an assistant for us, because AI has not the empathy. And we know users very well. We learn about users, and it takes years to learn much about this kind of specialist. I think there are already some applications which can give you some content, which can give you some layouts and help you design. I don't think AI will replace us, or we can replace users somehow. And no, these are people, they are thinking, and everybody has his own opinion. I wouldn't say that. And what's about you told me about the future of UX. So I think the big topic for UX is the accessibility. It's not more like a additional thing. It's already required. So that's a huge progress. I would see will happen there. All the haptics or the interfaces, voice interfaces, etc. And this is the topic I would like to jump a little bit more, dive deeper in the near future, maybe make some certificates, because it's coming, I think. And that's important topic for UX.
I mean, AI is making impact everywhere, but it's interesting to hear, I mean, your take on how AI could possibly impact UX, UI.
If I can interrupt you, just one more thing came to my mind, because there is one thing which can be dangerous for users from the AI side, because all the scams can become more smart because of machine learning, and interface can change dynamically. For example, the AI will know that a user is the most vulnerable at this moment to cancel something or to go back. And in this case, he will dynamically hide the button, for example.
Like in those like memes and jokes where basically you're trying to click the button, but the button moves all the time, right?
Exactly. So this is very important, the ethical UX, I think.
Yeah, definitely. Do you ever stop thinking about UX and like UX designing?
Then, when I stopped thinking about digital UX, I critique the ATMs, the parking meters, coffee machines, and I have a story. We got in the office new coffee machines, and one morning I come to the office, to the kitchen, and I see like my teammates, and one colleague ask, why the new coffee machine count the milk in seconds? If you want the milk, yes, no. But if you want the milk, you need to select 5 seconds of milk, 10 seconds of milk.
Okay,
how speed is milk?
I would already be confused, so I already lost. Yeah.
Exactly, and this is not just me. Yeah, it's UX kind of rewire your thinking model. For example, the very good places for UX analysis are museums. And here I need to recommend something from Gdynia, from my city, the Museum of Immigration, which is great because it guides you like a user story, point by point. You never lost. And the story is very interesting and everybody will understand it. I have to say, no, it's never stop. And you see design everywhere when you already started and you are in this rabbit design hole.
Yeah.
It's never stop.
Yeah, I'm asking that because obviously also as somebody who comes from a software engineering background, I interact every day with software, like we all do. And I mean, you're working part of that as well, like on UI. So we are always interfacing with something, right? Like machines are everywhere around us. There are like a lot of digital UI, but there's also physical and the combination of this. So it's definitely something complex, especially because you're designing something for humans. Do you ever get stuck when you're thinking about how to solve some UX problem? And what is your thought process when you're designing something?
I try to not to be stuck. In Poland, we say, if not by the doors, then through the window. And it's exactly describe my approach. I try to act, and where there is a problem, I try to ask people if they know more about this. Maybe someone has similar problem from my colleagues from UX. And anyway, I try to gather as much knowledge as I can, and then maybe the problem is superficial, right? Because sometimes we just cannot understand each other, and that's a real problem. So UX designer is the person who should ask if we really try to solve the right problem, or what happened if something is different. And if is it really the valuable for user? We should trigger this kind of questions to be sure that the solution we are preparing is the proper one and has a value for user. And what else? You need people. You need to collaboration. It's completely normal. Yes. And what I appreciate as well in some cases, like when there are some problems to solve, documentation and collaboration with business analysts, with product owners. We need to be in constant contact, I think, because we need to provide the designs to developers. And for them, they need to understand everything as well. So the designs plus documentation, it should match.
When you're talking already about the communication and how important it is for you to get unstuck when you have an issue, did you ever have, or can you share with us if you ever had any of your UX oops moments where like there is something that really horribly went wrong, or at least there was something funny that happened with your UX design?
I have two situations that I can bring.
Thank you.
So first, it's funny now, but it wasn't at the time, believe me. In one of my previous jobs, one of the sales came to me and said, "Hey, I have an idea. We should sell to our clients a product which will be inspired by Matrix."
Okay, cool. I like Matrix.
You know the vibes, the 2000 vibes, wall of falling the code and this kind of aesthetic.
Yeah, I know. Yes. The green code falling down.
Exactly. He wanted to sell the academy for some pharmaceutical employees, where they select the blue and the red pill and have different path of the learning. And he said like, you have 2 days because we have call in 2 days, and the concept, some designs, some flows, some analysis should be ready. But how? Why? What? I didn't know if I should laugh or cry. But I am very grateful that at the end the clients just didn't decide to go in this direction.
So the client didn't take red or the green, the blue pill?
No.
No, blue or red, no.
They said they didn't want pill at
Pills.
all.
Cool.
But yeah, that was a long time ago. And another situation, it happened recently in Lufthansa. I like to be creative sometimes, and especially for the mock data. After 3 years at Lufthansa, I have some aviation knowledge, but these are just 3 years and I don't know everything. So sometimes for design, I mocked some data. And recently, I invented the completely new aircraft performance type. It doesn't exist and it didn't exist. And of course, for me, it was okay. I just put some name numbers. And after a few days, my colleague with who I have a very good relation, she's product owner, came to me and she said that I invented the flying unicorn because everybody from technical staff is laughing. Why? What is it? What kind of aircraft is it? And lesson learned that basically in aviation, everybody has a hawk eyes. Every small data change and inconsistencies
will be noticed.
Yeah, will be noticed and disturbed all teams. And you imagine you are focused on one problem and then everybody is disturbed and focus on the other thing which we don't need to even solve, but it's noticeable.
Well, those are really, really fun ones. Thank you for sharing. As you mentioned, I mean, you're working in you have a creative job, or your career is in the creative area. And you said you like designing different user interfaces and research about user experience and improving the products. If you could design a product without any limits, what would it be?
I think I would design a translator between human and animal language. So I think that everybody would like to speak with his cat dog. At my home, I have my CEO.
Of your home, your cat.
My cat. I would like to speak with him and know what to do, when to clean up, and when to give him food, etc. But what else? Maybe something related to diving, to the sea, like technology and nature. Maybe something like a new version of the diving computer where you can inform the people around, hey, I'm here and I just saw the king crab. Come here to see him. Or there's just whales, just something smart that will divers communicate better. But yeah, I did something very interesting recently as well with my colleagues from the team Wucja. Because at Lufthansa Systems we had Children's Day and we had a chance to make workshop for teenagers, for children of our colleagues from work, and that was something great because we could introduce them into UX world and into aviation world. So they could plan a flight. They could design application and even prevent the flight from the engine failure.
Wow, cool.
Yes, they learned what is EDTO.
Wow, okay, great.
That was great. I had fun and we got very good feedback from kids, like teenagers and their parents.
Awesome. Those are really some wholesome ideas, Agata. Thank you very much for spending today your time with us. Thank you very much for debugging the UX and UI and UR. And hope to see you soon again.
Thank you very much. It was my pleasure to meet you and to spend some time with you guys. Yes, I can't wait for the next time.
Awesome. Thank you very much.